It's 1994. Playmates Toys has been milking profits off the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles going on 7 years by this time, and companies have been drooling over the success of TMNT and trying to get a piece of that pie, selling a slew of their own different versions of anthropomorphic characters like Biker Mice from Mars, Bucky O'Hare, Cowboys of Moo Mesa, Stone Protectors, SWAT Cats, and more. 90s kids have been blasted with TMNT-influenced like characters during this time, and to me, nothing seemed so obvious like Mattel's answer to TMNT, with 4 brothers mutating into shark humanoids. From 1994 to 1997, we got Street Sharks, and this is our review of the 30th anniversary recreation of those popular 90s cartoon and action figures. Welcome to our YouTube channel here at Gen Wars, also known as Alpha vs. Zennial, where we review toys, games, TV, movies, and more from generations past and present.
Warning, warning. The evil Dr. Paranoid changed 4 innocent brothers into huge creatures. Man. You're in my control. Think again, Street Sharks.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get into one of these. These are going to be the Street Sharks. We're going to go ahead and check out Jab, Ripster, and Slash. This is the 30th anniversary of Street Sharks. Let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, I've got all 3 for the first wave, Jab, Ripster, and Slash, and we're going to go ahead and do a review of each of them, starting off with the leader, Ripster. So I'm going to go ahead and move these off to the side and just kind of briefly talk about the package, especially for the first one, since this is our first look. This is the 30th anniversary, very similar to the original packaging of Street Sharks and very similar to the size, but of course there's a lot more articulation on these and maybe a little bit of a variation of color. But for the most part, it pretty much matches in spirit of the original Street Sharks. It has the soft, pliable kind of rubber type body, but that's strictly just for the body, the head and torso itself. The arms and legs, you can already automatically tell right off the packaging that it's a solid plastic. Here you can see that there's a kind of very flexible, flimsy cage. Again, it's just kind of surrounds as part of the packaging for each of the Street Sharks with some bite mark. You can see maybe some slash marks. This is where you can push the fin, press the button, so to speak, and Ripster does some chomping action. So we're going to go ahead and take this one out of the packaging now. As you can see here, it is pretty well taped, so you can easily just put it on the hook and hang it. So that's essentially what that's there for. Or you can lower them into your swimming pool or bathtub or whatever you want to do. These will make excellent bath toys, right? Give it to any toddler. Okay, so there's a bit of glued packaging right over here, so you kind of have to just work your finger through that. It doesn't necessarily pop out very cleanly. And you have to kind of work your way in through this side to pop out all the glued areas. So here I'm trying to just pop out the glue area. And then can I slide my finger out? Because I'm trying not to damage the packaging as much. Definitely going to be keeping these in the packaging just because it's fun and the artwork is beautiful. You can see the brothers, the 4 brothers over there versus the villains. And again, it kind of tells you the features of what it does. It's got the press the fin to make them bite. He also has the pullback until the arm is straight, and waist twists all the way to this side and then release it for a power punch. So there you go. Some fun actual features, not only just more articulate than the old ones, but also has some of the play features with it. It does have a bit of a flexible gate here that you can just pop out. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that out by hand. And then you can see here that it just opens up. It is gonna be held by some ties back here. So once you commit to opening up your Street Shark, you just got to take off those little plastic ties. So again, that way the figure can pop out a little bit easier. And then I got my Ripster, who's kind of like in a seated position, again for packaging purposes, I'm assuming. So here we go. There is Ripster. So right off the bat, again, I can tell he feels, I'm almost a little bit scared because this is it's giving me a lot of resistance here. I'm not sure, I don't want to twist it to break it. I can tell the body is completely soft. The legs, waist, the arms, those are all more solid. They do kind of have that free range of articulation, a bit of a snap hold on the joints. You can see here that he does have a hole through his hand, so if you ever want to put any kind of weapons in there or anything like that, you can. And then as far as this is concerned, let's go ahead and see if I can twist it, because I don't want to break it. I think he's kind of like in this riding motorcycle position. I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to take care of this. He does twist though, so he does have that feature. You can do one of these things where he just does that, which is kind of cool. And again, he's got the bite feature. So again, he is articulate. I think the arms are a bit stiff though, because I can see that there are joints, but it's not quite letting me bend it completely. So this one bends and this one swivels, and I can move it around. This one again, I can move it around. I can go up, I can go down, but then I've got this arm right here that doesn't really bend or go anywhere. So I'm not quite sure. It's very stiff. So yeah, I got it to move finally, but very stiff. So it kind of worries me just a bit, especially for those who are collecting this and want to keep it long term. I can see this over time when the plastic degrades, it's eventually going to snap if you don't put it in like maybe some warm water or something like that. Again, the only problem with that though is hopefully you don't have any metal joints in there if you decide to dunk it in warm water to kind of loosen up the joints a bit. But other than that, I mean, it works pretty well. It can stand up on its own. I would say that it's not the most easy figure to pose. But luckily, I mean, his big boots, his big feet kind of help with the overall weight distribution. But again, not too bad. Works out relatively well. But I am worried about the joint here because the leg joints, I mean, they're there. I can see them, but I just can't twist them comfortably on a full rotation like I'm used to, like maybe the Masters of the Universe legs on those figures, because those are way better designed. This one is like I'm almost scared to like bend it further because it's going to snap. So I'm not going to force it. Just going to let it do its thing like right there and let the boots do its work and it can stand up. So there you go. That's Ripster. So next up, we're going to go ahead and give Jab a look here. So again, he does have a couple of features, just like Ripster, who has the bite and punch. Here, Jab has the bite, and he's got the ability to extend his head. So it kind of gives like a hammerhead type attack. So they call it the jackhammer headbutt. So that's kind of an interesting feature. Again, very similar to the previous packaging, very colorful. It has the Street Sharks here on the left, the villains here on the right. Again, the first series only came with Ripster, Jab, and Slash. So let's go ahead and give this one a look. Again, very similar to the other packaging. Not going to get too deep into it, but very flexible plastic to kind of give you that shark cage look, again, with the bites and the slashes on the side. But I am going to go ahead and cut this open. Now, again, the only thing that I would say, my only complaint about this would be just the packaging itself, because I do like to open these up, have the kids play with them for a little bit, and then eventually put them away so that we can store them and like maybe put them up for display or whatever. But the packaging on this is, it's not very easy. So either you're going to buy it and you're going to keep it in package and just enjoy it that way, or you're just going to buy it and very, like what I'm doing, very carefully trying to open it if you want to keep the packaging. Otherwise, you're just going to rip into this and throw everything out and just keep the figure. The reason why I have to, again, do this very carefully and it's so different from other packaging is because it's glued on. There's no actual folding flaps to just pop it out. I mean, you already have it sealed here with some tape, but it's not only sealed, but also glued. So I'm trying not to damage the exterior packaging at least, even though if the inside looks horrible, I still want to be able to try to retain as much of it as, oh, no, already, okay, too late. I already messed it up. It's already cut right through it. All right, well, so much for that. So let's go ahead and just try to pop that open. All right, so we've got the top portion of it open. I'm going to go ahead and fold open the flaps. Here again, the sides are glued and they're like extra glued. And again, not to complain, just it makes it harder for collectors who want to keep the boxes in okay condition without having to completely destroy them. All right, so let's go ahead and slide this guy out. So there he is. I'm already committed to keeping it to an open figure, so there it is. Looking to get this guy out. So let's free him. Go ahead and just remove this and remove that. So your feet are kind of stuck in that weird biker pose position. So again, very similar to Ripster. Okay, now this is much easier. Look at this. I was really struggling with Ripster's arm and I couldn't bend it up and down, but this one very, very smooth. Bends at the elbow, the shoulder, and the wrist, which goes, it swivels and it can move forward and backward. Again, very flexible, soft plastic here. The body, of course, a much more flexible material, as opposed to where the arms and legs are a bit more solid, with the exception of the hands. The hands, I think, are made of, again, another like medium material. So not quite the same as this one, but not quite as hard as this, the arms and the legs. The legs are moving down a lot easier than Ripster. Again, well, okay, I kind of spoke too soon because it looks like his right leg, showing on my left, is not cooperating with me. It's got that weird stiff feeling again. It's the same thing that I had with Ripster, but his issue was on my right, his left leg. Ripster's leg wouldn't move up and down very easily. This one on Jab works perfectly fine, with the exception of his left leg. So again, it's very hard to comfortably move these around without having to worry about snapping them. He does bend at the knees and swivels at the feet, so that's pretty good. But again, I'm trying to massage it just a little bit gently so that I don't snap it. So I'm just going to keep it just like that. So there he is in his stand. Oh, no, see, he's about to fall over. I was going to say there he is in a standing position, but he's just diving over. So again, it's all about that center balance with these figures because they're so forward leaning, as you can tell. So you got to just balance it just right. Again, no complaints on Jab with his arms. He actually is able to move very comfortably. He does not twist and spring back to a punch because that is just a feature just for Ripster. So again, his feature is he's got the jaw where he's able to, if you press the fin, he's able to do the bite feature, and you can actually feel comfortable just pushing it all the way down. At first it feels very stiff, but once you start doing it over and over again, it feels very comfortable. It's kind of funny. You can do like a little puppet show, entertain some kids with some scary sharks with big teeth. So that'll be a lot of fun. Now this is really cool. So this is the arm that actually does the headbutt feature. So you can just literally just move it back and forth and there he goes. So that's kind of a fun feature. I like the little detail even when you extend it out so they don't skimp on that. It's just not a flat plastic design. It literally has like some sort of, like you can see a bone or spine structure. So that is very cool. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next guy. And last but not least, we have Slash. So one of the enemies of the Street Sharks, one of the villains. So just like the other Street Sharks, he does have his own features. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this here to the back so we can kind of check those out. So he does have his little drill nose, which is we're going to have to attach separately. Basically it says attach or remove drill place as shown. So you just snap it in there and then you push the lever, well, technically up and down. So you can just push it down and then let it release and it kind of reverses back and it gives it what's called a killer driller action feature. So again, this is going to be Slash. We're going to go ahead and, not to be mistaken with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Slash, but although that would be a fun matchup. Again, and I do want to keep the packaging because I always have an appreciation for the artwork. Again, this is opened though, so it won't matter. This will be part of our little private collection. Something fun for the kids to play with so they can maybe experience what it was like to play with some stuff from the 90s, which now apparently there's a huge market for since these 90 kids have some disposable income. And then I can slide this out. So there we go. So I just do that and then I can just pull them out. So just got to be careful because he has this little face feature there that's kind of in the way. There he is. So now he is free. And his drill was right behind him. So that's kind of convenient. And all you literally need to do is just put it right in his face, snap it on there, and that's all there is to it. And then his feature again, you just move this up and down. Goes up by itself, but there's his drill feature. I do like the design of how he looks, but how does he actually play? So again, arms a bit stiff, limited articulation here, but I mean, you can make it happen. So I mean, that's about as much as you're going to get. Again, very solid plastic on the arms themselves, as well as the feet and the legs, but the hands are a little pliable. So that's kind of nice. There's no soft body on this one though either, because there's no bite feature. All he has is the drill. So the purpose of the soft body was obviously to make them flexible enough to do a bite feature, but he's solid plastic all the way through. Shoulder joints move, his forearm, elbow moves. Again, it articulates fairly well. And his legs, and this is the painful part for the Street Sharks, I never got the legs to work. Again, he's still kind of in that squatting position. I guess you can kind of keep him like that. His feet are so big that he can definitely hold himself up. Don't have to worry about too much of the forward leaning weight because again, his toes really kind of extend out from the heel to the toe. It definitely supports the weight of the bigger, more solid drill plastic piece right here. The drill piece right here on his nose is solid plastic. It's not flexible or bendable. Same thing with the face attachment that he has here. If you need to put it back in the storage, it's just an easy matter of just popping it out, so you don't have to worry about breaking it. But that's pretty much it. So that's what he looks like right there. And just pop that back in there and you're good to go. So that is the Street Sharks. If you liked what you saw, please make sure to like and subscribe, as this will help us grow. Showing your support goes a long way for us, and it's free. Remember, whether you're from Generation Alpha or Xennial, before or beyond, keep collecting what makes you happy and healthy. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.